Election day is Tuesday. Biden is still in his basement, and markets get clobbered. What's up, everybody? What is going on? And here we are. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, November the 1st. So tired. I got too much sleep. Daylight savings time. Halloween. No candy. But here we are. And of course, finally, it is election day on Tuesday. Get this. I mean, obviously, most of that nonsense will never end. But I can't wait to get this election crap over. Between all the crap between everybody. Again, I don't care what. This is a nonpartisan view. Whatever side you're on, they're all full of crap. Okay, they can take them all and put them on the Titanic, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, and we can restart over because we really need a true restart. What we have here is a mess. Okay, obviously, I still believe the one guy that is not as messed up as they make him out to be is our leader. But the rest of the politicians, kiss them good night as far as I'm concerned. Okay. Again, I don't care what side you're on. They're all, I don't know them all, but most of them are full of garbage and do not have the best interest of the American people in their minds. Okay. That I can say with 100% certainty by watching what goes on. So let's not ever kid ourselves that they're both a pile of dong, and that's it. Okay. In the meantime, of course, Mr. Vice President, Mr. Biden is still hiding in his basement. He's made a couple of rounds out, but look, don't be surprised that he didn't make the same mistake that Hillary Clinton made. Okay, by not campaigning. The never-ending energy of President Trump is rolling. So we'll see. Listen, as I say every week since we've been starting this, go vote. I don't care who you vote for. I voted. I'm in. I got my ballot cast. Okay. But I think one of the things that is extremely interesting, and again, you can take this for what it's worth, but there are 10 major cities that are in massive trouble financially, okay, throughout this whole pandemic and even before, but obviously being more magnified. And wouldn't you know it, that all 10 are run by the left? Wouldn't you know it? I mean, isn't that shocking? Okay. Now, Illinois is shut down again, which means Chicago is first, and then Illinois shut it down. Now, again, interestingly enough, a couple of cities, and counties went to the courts and said, screw you, we're not closing, and they won. So I don't know what's going to happen, but you wonder why only the left states are really in financial catastrophe. Okay. I mean, again, you got to ask yourself the question. I don't care if you're left or right. If you live in California, how the hell are they in so much debt? Okay. They charge more taxes than anybody to live there. So in the meantime, I find that to be an interesting, item that, those states are the ones that are in the most amount of trouble. Okay. It is nice to see that black-owned businesses have actually flourished now and are making some dramatic recoveries through after the pandemic. Look, it's going to be a brutal time for anybody. The unfortunate thing you have in shutdowns, okay, is that the small business guy gets closed out because, Walmart didn't miss a beat. Target didn't miss a beat. In fact, they probably had great sales. Amazon didn't miss a beat, although their stock got clobbered at that earnings, but they didn't miss a beat because they're going to be there all the time. What they did by closing down, and what the left in this case, but again, this is not a left or right, but in this case, the cities that are closed, okay, they're putting out of business a small business. I mean, every one of my favorite restaurants has to close. They're out of business forever. Okay. All the small retailers that I used to, again, I believe in supporting small business, are out of business. So again, for what? For no reason whatsoever. I think that the choice should be the people. We're Americans first, although many of you don't find that believable. Okay, we are Americans first, and we should be able to make the decision whether we're willing to take the risk to go out versus, being told that you must stay home. Okay, but look, at the end of the day, markets don't believe it. I mean, we have the bull market that will never die. Again, it will die when it's ready. Again, remember, markets will go up until they don't. You're not going to be able to pinpoint the reason why they stop going up. Something's going to happen, and nobody knows. Maybe it's the election. Nobody knows. Okay. Again, anybody who says they can predict the next big move is a lying scumrat. Cannot be done. I've seen many try. Many have tried and gone broke, and you've even seen the major calls made by, Gazzarelli, which was a great call at the time, but now she's 1 out of 20. Joe Granville was the original. Made one call, was famous forever. Again, it can't be done. That's why it's a fool's game. It's like the Federal Reserve, a fool's game. Okay, but again, I think there's more to worry about from the Federal Reserve and their uncertainty versus the pandemic. Okay, I mean, the Fed is, first of all, although it is a private corporation, which it is, okay, but they're not controlled by the government. I mean, we know that they're controlled by the government. I mean, I don't care what anybody tells me. Okay, and I don't like it. Of course, I mean, again, I don't like printing of money. I don't like the allowing banks to have unlimited balance sheets, basically, and take the reserves off, okay, so they can lend and lend and lend, because all they're really doing is printing more money. And so what they're really doing is they're just devaluing the currency that you're holding. And again, I work too hard, and I don't need them to get involved. You know what? If businesses, if they would just let the recessions happen when they happen, we wouldn't have these major moves in markets. Okay, they're the ones that cause this. They're bubble building, phony, funny money. I mean, remember, they have forced every investor into the stock market. Okay, you have no place else to go. So they're more of a concern that'll create and listen, Greenspan was the band leader. Okay, yeah, he's revered as the greatest. Listen, the greatest of what? Building a bubble. Okay, again, you think about it and look back, and you can tell me. Listen, just one man's opinion. Okay, I think that you one of the things we're going to see. We've got a lot more artificial intelligence coming out, and of course, listen, artificial intelligence it's a great tool. Okay, I mean, we use some in our algorithm. Okay, and of course, when you're making a decision based on a mathematical decision, great. Okay, it works perfect for. I mean, well, it wasn't such a good week, but it works perfect as a rule, right? But again, when you use it, when there needs to be some human thought, there's where the problems come in sometimes. It's hard to eliminate humans, especially in certain situations if you're dealing with other humans. Okay, so look, I know AI is here. They've got it's so far beyond where we even know it's at right now that I'm sure that it'll be so far advanced. But remember, okay, unless it's dealing with another machine, there are other things that are dealt with as far as employment, interaction, and so on and so forth. So we can think about it, but I don't know that it'll ever be here. As the soul, right? I don't think it'll be replacing, many jobs that do require some thought and some logic. Okay, logic they can handle. The thought they probably can't. Okay, but I think the big question here is, does Bitcoin have the potential or the possibility to be the new gold? Okay, or gold, or a competitor of or equal to? And I think the answer is, of course. I mean, I thought that, not all along, okay? Unfortunately, I was, led astray at some things back years and years ago, okay, in thought process. But again, it is what it is. But, again, the freedom of being totally away from the Fed, the freedom from being not controlled by anybody. Sure, it's manipulated. Look, I get this all the time when I get my nasty letters from wherever I write for. How can you say that it's manipulated? What's the difference? Like my grandma said when she went to the racetrack, he said, Grandma, the horses are fixed. She said, maybe I'll bet on the crooked horse. That's all. I mean, price action is price action. I don't care if it is what it is, but I do not like the ability of somebody to determine the next value based on a decision, not based on price discovery and markets. Okay, that I find very distressing. Okay, because to me, that's a problem. Now, I do find this interesting. Okay, that the corruption surrounding Joe Biden, if it was President Trump, okay, or if it was maybe anybody else on the right, but certainly if it was the president, you wouldn't see anything else but they'd already be in for another impeachment trial. Yet with Vice President Biden, they continue to sweep it under the carpet. We don't hear anything about those problems. Now, why is that? Okay, that to me seems to be somewhat problematic. Okay, why is that? I mean, the man has been in office for 47 years and magically has found the solution after his 47th year. Okay, really? Does anybody really believe that he's? Suddenly has the solution to the pandemic, to the economy, to oil, to China? I mean, I hope you don't really believe that. It would be a terrible thing as brainwashing, because in general, okay, I mean, where's he been the last 47 years? Okay, if he could solve it, did it come to him in a magic cookie? So look, I think that, of course, as you know, and we'll talk more about this in my commentary, but the press itself is almost a laughingstock on either side. Listen, you can listen to CNN or you can listen to Fox News, whichever side. I mean, they're going to make their point, and the other side does not exist. Okay, and I mean, what happened to just straight? This is what it is. Okay, I don't need someone to tell me what to think. I'm perfectly capable of thinking for myself. Okay, so in the meantime, as we did say, the election is Tuesday. Okay, so go out and vote. You'll vote for whoever you want. I don't care who you vote for. I ask two things of everybody. Go ahead and vote, please. Get off your ass and get there, number one. And number two, don't be such a nut that you cannot at least listen to somebody else's opinion. Okay? I mean, I don't care. I have a lot of friends that are far left liberals. Okay? But again, I can talk to them. But if they don't listen to reason, then I tell them, right? And I'm just saying to you, again, you cannot believe that you are 100%, okay, and there's nothing wrong with what's going on, okay? I just think that at least have the courtesies to let others speak instead of trying to drown them out with, the company line, so to speak, because the company line is broken. As I said, you can take all the politicians and bundle them up and put them on the Titanic, as far as I'm concerned, because they need to rebuild and remake the entire system anyways with term limits and the whole deal. But that is a story for another bottom line. In the meantime, we're going to step out here for a break. And on this first day of November, okay, we'll be back with more and the market updates right after the break. So, everybody, well, here we are. And of course, we've got a new month, and of course, Family Farms, our new partnership with them. We're being unfortunately delayed by this pandemic, ridiculous stuff, and with things shutting down. But it's a great organization, and I'm really excited to work with them. And I'm I'm really excited. In fact, I talked to even today and yesterday a bunch of guys from the Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas area that are going to come down and see. But again, obviously, right now you can't do it. So, but again, we'll get down there. But again, family farms, I really like them, and I think they're great. I can't wait till we can get back in person. And of course, our brokerage partners, and as you know, I have to disclose, I have other brokerage accounts, so you know that. But our brokerage partners are CTG, okay, futures and commodities. They are the only authorized dealer of our letter of direction trading, number one. Number two, they do a phenomenal job at what they do. And again, the trades are executed on time. There's not a question. They're not using their imagination. They're taking care of business as soon, and they do it at the same time. If there's a trade, they do it at the same time every day. And that's what I like. But the bigger thing that I love is the ability for any of my members to call them up if they have a question or a problem, or to get set up, and they answer the phone. And again, that's to me, because I've had other places that have screwed me, and I'm not going to mention names, but trying to get through to somebody when you need something, cannot. So, and so for futures and commodities and our letter of direction programs, unbelievable. For equities and options, there's nothing like Trader. And again, they're exactly the same type of organization. Not from a letter of direction strategy, but from a customer service oriented business. But they have the as they say, the number one trump card, okay, $10 a month. All right, now you think about that, okay? If you're trading anywhere, you're paying a minimum of 65 cents a contract, okay? Even if it's free, still 65 cents. So just multiply that. If you trade, 20 contracts a month, that's $13. Now, I'm not telling you to switch at all. Hey, number one, I'm just telling you that I certainly would rather put the money in my own pocket than put it in somebody else's. Okay. So in the meantime, those are our two brokerage partners. Of course, our commodity report, which, believe it or not, it's already here. I can't believe it. Next Saturday. Okay. Andy and I will be doing the Technomental webinar, okay, about the commodity report. And it will be souped up with the algorithms for the ETFs in different sectors of the commodity markets, because Andy follows, I think, 29 markets anyways. And between his reporting and writing and his ability and his knowledge and the algorithms, it's going to be phenomenal. And we got this is the last week you've got to get the deal, okay, and sign up, because the price will be hiked on the day of the webinar. Okay, but again, it's a great report. Just trust me when I say to you that if you're interested in that kind of stuff and read a lot of fundamental stuff, hey, it's a great report. Okay, so, and that's called Technomental. You can get it at BUBBATrading.com. And of course, don't forget about our high school program at Patreon, patreon.com/BubbaTrading. That's patreon.com/BubbaTrading. Now let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line with me, Todd Bubba Horwitz. Welcome back, everybody, and here we are, and it is, of course, market updates. It is pretty ugly, right? First I will say, we have had a very ugly period for myself, for my personal trading. It's been very ugly, okay? Not trading, but our portfolio models. We've taken a pretty big drawdown, and so fairly significant. In history, what history shows me is that we've always gone on to make new equity highs after this period. But yes, it is brutal. Okay. And I actually did a special webinar on Friday, okay, just for the members, saying, hey, this is why you don't ever leverage. Okay. Because again, these events do occur. In the meantime, I think we're on the right side now, but we got caught in some of that bigger movement. But hey, like I said, I don't focus on that, because at the end of the day, I know what to expect. I never know how much, but I always know it's going to come. And I knew, and I'd said that there was a drawdown coming, and sure enough, there was. Okay, it was just a little nastier than we would like, but again, you can't establish those things. Okay. In the meantime, we are short across the board, and obviously we'll remain there until it changes. Now, I think a lot of these troubles are being caused by many of the, first of all, the exchanges, and then the FCM brokers. Okay, the smaller brokers, the CTGs and others, they're at the end of the chain of when these decisions get made. The margins have been bananas to begin with, right? Margins have gone up. The margin on our stuff that we use is almost doubled since we started. Okay, because of this nonsense around the election. and what's going on. You know, I've always seen in history, you know, oil used to have higher and lower depending on what was going on in the oil markets, but you know, I've never seen the mass raise of everything at one time. So now we're seeing this ridiculous hike, okay, in margins, and of course they're going to almost restrict day trading through the election because they're going to make margins so high that anybody who's got a small account will not be able to trade. Okay, now again, that creates more volatility and more bad stuff than if they would just let the markets trade themselves. But this is part of the game that we play. Too much manipulation here. Now there's the real manipulation for those of you who complain about gold and silver. This is it right here. This is preventing the markets from being totally free because you're eliminating anybody who's got a small account. In the meantime, we're short. They're going low. They're lower, and hopefully they will continue in that direction right now. The metals broke down. I mean, they've been in a downtrend. We've been short for over a month. Again, done very well with the shorts. And they did break down this week. Now, we'll see what they indeed do from here. But gold, silver, and platinum did indeed break the key support levels, which now opens, you know, I think that you look on the cards for the high 700s in platinum, under 23 in silver, and at 1850 to 1800 now in gold. Now we'll see. Again, I just give you those levels. That's what I'd be watching from a chart basis. So, but they have broken down, and there is some issues out there, and we'll see, you know, if we indeed, you know, continue that cycle. And of course, oil got clobbered, and we were obviously long early in the week, which was ugly, but are short. Okay, now you know, got short later in the week, and you know, again, it was, you know, there isn't many things that were higher, but I think that there's still some of the issues remain. You know, the consolidation, which was the biggest culprit. But it looks to me that now the indexes, the metals, okay, and energy have picked their direction, and it looks down. Now again, that can change, but right now it's down. And I think they've officially broken the key levels, which is what we're watching. The bond markets and notes were lower as well, which is interesting. You know, when you think there might be some fear and so on and so forth, you might think that something would happen, but hey, they continue to do their thing, okay? And of course, we're short those, and they have broken through the bottom. Now they had tried to rally during the week, but they have broken also through the bottom end of support. The natural gas was higher a little bit, okay? And you know, look, as you know, and I've mentioned this many times, I don't like to be short natural gas this time of year. So I'm happy that we're long. I don't even mind if it doesn't go right up right away, okay? I just don't want to be short because I know it's going to happen at some point, okay? There's going to be there's going to be a quick demand, and it ain't going to be there because natural gas, a lot of it they burn off, okay, ahead of time because they don't need it and there's nowhere to store it. So, and it's so plentiful. So in the meantime, we're still on copper. Ugly and not quite reversing, but pretty close, I think. We'll see how it trades out in the week. And of course, in the grains and livestock markets, you know, it was an ugly week. You know, I think I put a lot of the blame on some of this stuff on the exchanges for playing with the margin rates and there was a lot of forced liquidation last week. Now, the corn, the grains, and the meats were not affected by a hike in margins, but many people that trade in those markets were involved in others. And what usually happens, what longer term or swing traders do a lot of times, and especially investors, okay, if they're forced to liquidate, they're going to usually liquidate their winners first. And of course, we know that the grains had a very nice run. Now we have actually reversed. We are short corn. We're still long wheat and still long soybeans. Soybeans look great. I mean, corn looks not in trouble, but you know, needs to find some support pretty quick here. And wheat, the meats, suddenly we've seen a little bit of a shift. We are actually long cattle. Okay. I think we'll be long feeders. We're actually long feeders. Okay. And short hogs now. So we went from one to the other. Now, I like to be long them all, but hogs will find some support here. Well, I mean, they're awfully inexpensive. And I think, listen, a lot relates to the economy and what's going on. So we'll get there. And overall, these softs were down as well, pretty much across the board. And we remain at the moment, we're going to short cotton now. We're going to reverse cotton. Okay. We're going to be still short OJ. We're going to be short coffee, still long sugar, but it looks like it's reversing, and short cocoa. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line. Look for markets to be very wild this week because, again, the excess margin. Expect a wild week. Expect a lot of volatility. You'll see option prices that are ridiculously priced, but that's what they are. They're priced to the market. In the meantime, we're going to step out here for our final break and come back with my commentary and my pick for tonight's football game. Tomorrow night's a dog too, but for tonight's football game, this is Bubba's Bottom Line. Todd Bubba Horowitz will be right back with more after the break. Well, kids, so as we go through and we look at what's going on in the world, we look at what's going on in our markets, and of course, we've got some great relationships. Basically in business, the key is always the relationships that you build. And of course, family farms has been built, from a while. We've been working on it for a long time, and a great relationship, great people, okay, that have the same interests I have. I'm a big advocate of the small guy and farmers. Okay, I'm an underdog player. That's what I like. Okay, so. And, we were excited to go on our trip, but we couldn't now because of this COVID stuff. But we're going to reschedule and, right after the first of the year. But in the meantime, they're still great. And again, being hedged and learning that is good. And I will be doing probably another webinar, before we come down, just to give you some help. Because as we go into the new year, we want to make sure we're ready. And of course, our brokerage partners, which I do have other brokerage accounts, but our brokerage partners, CTG for commodities and futures, they are the only one authorized to do our letter of direction trading. But the bottom line is they give you great service. They get the trades done when they're supposed to be. Bang. You need a phone. Bang. They answer. So to me, how can you beat that? And of course, for equities and options, $10 a month to trade here. How can you pass that up? If you're trading any quantity, how can you want to pay more? That's the only question I could ever ask, because their service is phenomenal. They answer the phone. They do their job. But yet, I paid $10. I'm thrilled. Last month if I was with somewhere else, I'd have to pay $15,000. So, for me, it's absolutely perfect. And our commodity report, Andy Hecht, and I tell you, he's been on fire, and it's a great report. And of course, it's very detailed. But him and I will be doing next Saturday, the 7th at noon Eastern time. We will be doing our Technomental webinar where we'll be adding the new features to it. And of course, that's been the price is going up, but you do have your opportunity to get it now. If you want, you can go to BubbaTrading.com and Technomental, because as people know, once you're a member, that's your price for life. I don't increase members, just I increase new membership with the higher prices. So check that out. And of course, don't forget about our high school program at Patreon, patreon.com/BubbaTrading. That is patreon.com/BubbaTrading. And of course, as I get to my commentary, okay, and of course, there's a couple of things that, obviously irritate the crap out of me, okay, and one happens to be, okay, the press, the media, okay, the media is so one-sided, and they hide stuff. You go into the Biden stuff, we talked about a little earlier, but you go, and again, I'm not saying he's guilty or not guilty. I don't know. I can only know what I hear. Now, anytime they find a politician guilty, and a lifetime politician, anytime they find one guilty, it's never a surprise. Are you really surprised? Okay, if we're doing something wrong. So, and I'm not accusing. I don't know, but I don't like the fact that if it was Donald Trump or any of his family, this would be headlines every single day. It's Joe Biden. It gets underneath the carpet. Again, that's just look. You haven't heard one bad word about Kamala Harris. Now, you don't think there's nothing that she did in her public service? I can give you a ton of things that I know without the media. Okay, but again, I'm not here to guilt or to accuse. I'm just saying, where's the talk? I've warned. Okay, and if you go back and listen to any of my old radio shows, things I warned about are happening now. Okay, not with the election. I don't know, who could know that this was going to be such a nut job, this whole situation. But the overall, the things that have happened in the economy, And I'm just saying, look, I don't want you to be fearful of a civil war or another problem, but the protesting continues to go. And then you get guys like Jack Dorsey, who does not recognize the Holocaust. Now, again, the Holocaust happened. How do I know? How do I know for sure? Well, I don't know. Either my relatives, okay, and my dad's relatives that made it through, okay, and my neighbors in Evanston, Illinois, which was a big area for many of the ex-camp people, okay, they either had those numbers in tattooed on their hands themselves, or they really got them in the Holocaust. Now, again, you can tell me if my dad is lying, okay, and the story he was told was a lie. I mean, but again, to take stuff down and to screen media is ridiculous. Okay, you can anything that is hate, okay, and not true media. What's wrong with the real media? What's wrong with the fact check? Okay, why does somebody have to get involved in the freedom of speech? I think that is a worse act than anything. Okay, so again, it is election on Tuesday. Go out and vote. Okay, listen, whoever wins, I will support the president because I am an American first. You know who I'm voting for. I mean, I already voted, but it doesn't matter. And if he doesn't win, which I do think he will, and just watch the Latino, African American, and Jewish vote this time. I bet you the higher numbers will be much higher than they used to be for Republicans. But in the meantime, I will support the president when it's all said and done. Get off your ass and vote. And tonight's football game, oh, what a great game we got tonight. The Philadelphia Eagles against the the quarterback, the stinking quarterback list now, Dallas Cowboys. They have a rookie, okay, they're now a 10-point underdog in tonight's game. Look, this game isn't worth 2 cents worth of betting, but for the pizza and a beer, okay. I mean, I can't lay 10 points with Philadelphia because they stink too. They're just a little bit less of stink. For a beer and a pizza, you can watch the Cowboys get destroyed probably. But, again, remember, they always call it the backdoor cover. So, but there's no action, worth action on a game like this. Enjoy it and hope you get a good game because it could be ugly. We'll see. In the meantime, have a good weekend, everybody. Have a good holiday. Have a good, healthy holiday, healthy week. Not holiday, but, take care of business. And we'll see you tomorrow with an update. And, of course, the Tuesday we'll move the election. But in the meantime, be good, be healthy, and we'll see you all with Bubba's Daily Update tomorrow and Bubba's Bottom Line next week. In the meantime, take care, everybody. We'll see you next time. And next time we're Bubba's Bottom Line, we might have an idea who the president is. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you later.